Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well and starting your Sunday with tranquility and hope. Hope for whatever you want. Sunny day, relaxing day, whatever. So, hope you had a good week and you're ready to have a little bit of a chat with me today and with other friends around the world, with the cup of tea in your hand or coffee or whatever it is that you like, and we see if we can enjoy another hour together this week. Yahima, hello dear. Good to see you too. So we look like we have about 250 people already online. Frankie, hello dear, from India. Paramita says, I love you from India. Love you too, dear. Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Oh, that's close by. Well, close by in Canada means 5-hour plane ride, but still close. I'm always glad if I make you smile, Yahima. And we have Simona from Lebanon. Hello, dear. Ahlan wa sahlan. And we have Gilvia. Now, let me know where you guys are tuning in. So it'd be great for me to know what areas we're covering. Kasim from Turkey. Güle güle Efendi, glad for you to be here. Oh, Yahima asked what I'm drinking. Today, actually, I'm breaking the tradition from tea or any tea derivative or look-alike. And due to the fact that Canada has been snowing for the past while, of course, it's sunny and no more snow pretty much. But it's kind of cozy atmosphere. So I decided to have something with hot chocolate milk mix. This is hot chocolate mix with hot water and almond milk, not milk, almond milk. Just a little bit of a mix because I don't like too much sugar. Pretty good. So I hope you have your favorite drink in your hand. And while we're saying hello to everyone, I look for questions. As you know, we've had discussions about the psyche, thoughts, consciousness, desire, ego, and fears in the past 45 weeks on this Facebook page and my own Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, which the link is up there. You can see it. And they all are available on YouTube. Over 300 videos now we have on YouTube, which talks about different scenarios of post-breakup, feelings that you may be going through, questions you may be having, thrusts and energy you need to support yourself and propel yourself forward and move on from that experience, and to understand this part of life, but what is this connection with your psyche, with your fears, desire, ego, and thoughts and consciousness, why you feel the way you feel. All of that in different scenarios, over 300 videos on YouTube, which the link is up there. Again, you can go in and enjoy. Most of them are free for you to use. Some of them you need to go to my site, www.mindthatseekstruth.com, where you can find about 120 other videos that you can just, I don't know, nominal fee of $5 a month or $20 to $2 for the whole year. Then you can have access to those videos that are on unlisted part of the YouTube. And then also you have a choice to read the sample chapters of my books on the site, table of contents, sample chapters to see if you like it, how it works for you. Me, My Psyche and I is one of my books. The Breakup Pain Handbook is another one, and the transient thoughts and me is the other one. Also, you have a opportunity to take a look at 10 minutes of the seminar I had in a local university, and see if that is something that you would like to go further into it, which is available again on the site. So through all these, and also there's a possibility for you to have a one-on-one Skype consultation with me, which I do around the world every week, every day pretty much. And so we can have a one-on-one chat on your issues and whatever it is that is on your mind and you're concerned about. So there is a combination of the site and the consultation and the books and the videos on VIP, and also videos on YouTube, and my Facebook page should be able to give you a little bit more support, and hope that this is just part of life and you will be perfectly fine after the breakup, as long as you understand what is this relationship with your psyche, with your fears, desires, egos, with your thought and consciousness. What is it that makes you feel the way you do? And this is what my intention is, rather than just telling you, there, you'll be fine, everything will be okay, you'll find another one. These are all nice and fine that you can get from your friends and family, but to understand the role of psyche and why it is that you feel the way you do, the role that they all they play together and affect each other, the way you're thinking. Why is it the way you're thinking? Where does these thoughts come from? All of that will give you the knowledge of knowing yourself better, because we seem to be thinking that it's very important for us to learn about things and machineries, how to operate them, how they function, and learn things in life. But we never spend enough time to learn about what makes this tick, what makes this function, feel, act, and react the way it does in face of things that happens in life, and how we can better negotiate everyday life and the challenges that we face with on an everyday basis. So this is the whole purpose of sharing these things with you. And I would love for you guys to send your questions, of course. Watch the videos, which will be very helpful, and it doesn't cost you anything. Talking to me does cost you, though, mind you. So you may want to take advantage of this opportunity on the YouTube, and of course these sort of talks that we have. And also, I look forward to ask you to share the videos that you like on YouTube, so people around the world will know there is a more detailed support, rather than there you'll be fine, and and at the same time you'll put me more on the map, and the channel would be more popular and would be having more exposure. Now, having said that and done my plugs, now it's time to listen to you and see what we have here. So I'm going to go through and say hello to everyone, if I can, until I see a question here. Then we will talk about that. Wendy from UK, hello dear. Yasser from UAE. Ahlan wa sahlan, I guess. Frankie, I just said who I am. It doesn't matter really who I am. It doesn't matter who I am. Matters if the discussion is of some interest or use, and we will find that out. Akshat, hello dear. Farid, guten Tag. Wie geht's heute? Obviously you're in Germany. Mario from Honduras. ¿Cómo está? Maybe that's closest I can come to. Honduras. We had many school friends from different parts of South America, and Honduras was one of them. Very warm people. Qatar. Hello dear. And so let's see. Ciao from US. That's Laurent. Good to see you. Qaid Dadush. Hello dear. Seti, hello. Haven't seen you for a while. Where have you been hiding? Too busy for us now on Sunday morning? Or maybe you had a late night and sleeping in. Good to see you here. Now, Tulay from Turkey. Afandi, glad for you to be here. Paramita says, I love your post. Well, thank you. Love you too. Yes, thank you. And Janet from UK. Ah, Janet is here. Good to see you. Sorry guys, my finger went on top of this thing. I'm trying to fix this thing. I have a little problem with the angle of this thing, I guess. There we go. Maybe that's better. So we have now Sylvia, or Gilvia, doesn't tell me where she's from. Come on, guys, let me know where you guys come. Morefil from Dubai. Hello, dear. Shukran to be here. And Surajit from India. My goodness, I'm so grateful for for all of you to be here, especially people from India, because it's 12:30 almost there, midnight, after midnight, and that shows interest, love, and dedication, and I appreciate that. I try to put it at a certain time that we can meet almost as many people around the world as we can, different time zones, so it suits US, Canada. Europe is about 8 o'clock at night, I believe, or 6:30 or 7 at night, and Middle East would be about 11:30 or so. India would be 12:30. Russia would be also around that time, but Australia, we can't hit it because they're like 16 hours ahead, so this would be like 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning, and I think I only had a few from Australia at this late at night sometimes, but we love to have them here, and we hopefully will be able to have a time frame that it would suit them as well. Qatar says you should find photos of, I don't know, dear, what that is. I have to figure that event. Now, remember guys, we're looking for questions. So, Barbados. Oh, hello, Ren from Barbados. Wonderful tropical place. Envy you. You're having a great time there. Opportunity to relax and spend time with nature. It's very important to spend some time with nature. That helps you to realize your connection with the whole, which we all seem to think that we are the whole, but we are not the whole. We are only a fragment of the whole. And if you realize that, then we can also understand how important it is for all the pieces of the whole to get along, instead of having all so much anger and violence around the world and so on. Emily from Singapore. Oh, good, Emily, good to see you. Yasser from UAE. We're still looking for questions. I guess we have time for you to get your drinks and figure out what question you want to ask. You can ask questions about your breakup, your relationship, or some other matter in life that concerns you, has to do with thoughts and ego, desire, fears, consciousness, and something that we can benefit everyone through the discussion, so we can focus on breakups, emotions, relationships, and other challenges that you may be facing, or questions that you may be wanting to have to understand the role of all these things that we talked about in your life and how it affects your decisions and the way you act, interact, and react. Claudia from Germany, Guten Morgen or Guten Abend. Hope you had a nice day. And I love Germany. I've been to Germany a few times, and there's certain discipline and warmth about it, at least when I was there. Yahima, you like the drink? Yeah. Wally from Brazil. Hello. Fernando, shout out from Walla Walla, Washington. Oh, Walla Walla, Washington. I had a very good friend who went to University of Washington, and he got married to a local girl, Washingtonian, but from Walla Walla. And I also know Walla Walla has lots of good onions. Sweet onions, I believe. So I went actually for a few months. I went to Seattle U just to learn English at the time, as English is my second language, as you all know. And then, of course, then I went to Portland to a different university, because that was only temporary for the Language Institute. So. Lara from Italy. Come stai? Buongiorno or buonasera. Come stai, dear? Glad for you to be here. Now, Dragisa. Dada from München. Ah, guten Abend. Wie geht's heute? Geht's gut, I hope. And Dave Farrow from UK. Ah, that's difficult. I know some of these languages, but UK, I don't know. I gotta work on the accent. Good to see you, Dave. Lovely for you to be here, and thank you for being here. Igor from Moscow. Dobre diem. Dobre diem. Or dobre вечер. Очень приятно. So let's practice my Russian a little bit. So, Mary from Midland, Texas. Howdy. That's as much as I go for Texas. Howdy. Now, come on, guys. We're having a good time, but I'm looking for questions. Unless you guys want to socialize, we can do that. That's all right. I had my talk yesterday. I had videos during the week, and I've got things to do afterwards. Now I can relax and just have my homemade weird chocolate almond milk. Okay. Surajit from India. Ruby. And from Serbia, Rista. Hello from Serbia. I don't know anything in your language, unfortunately. I got to learn something. Maybe you can teach me something. Guide says, okay, there's one question, I think, because it's 3 lines, so there must be more than a hello. Says, what do I think of the idea of being on touch with someone you used to love? Is it healthy? I see. So the question is, what do I think, or what do I think, I guess, not you, right? What you want to know, what I think about the idea of being in touch with someone you used to love. Is it healthy? Well, you can really clearly answer that question by yourself. How? By simply digging deep, honestly. There's no one around. It's only you and you. The watcher and the watched. I'll explain that a little later. The observer and the observed. The controller and the controlled. It's you. Your thoughts, thinking about your thoughts. And that, no one is around. It's only you and your thoughts. So you can be totally honest with yourself. Dig deep and answer yourself. Do you want to be in touch with her so you can get some relationship going? If the answer is yes, you have romantic feelings about her, and that's your real motivation to want to be in touch with her. And at the same time, you guys already have broken up or never been together, or you have, or somehow you know that she's not interested, or this is not going to happen. If that has already been decided and recognized that she's not interested, She doesn't feel about you the way you do. Because often, the way you feel about someone, you think that she's also or he's also feeling the same way about you. But it's not true. It's your own illusions or your interests or your hopes and desires. But if you already know, you've tried or you've been together, you broke up or you tried, you know that she's not interested, respect that. And at the same time, don't put yourself in a position that you will be creating an illusory hope, which makes you go up and down every day with hopes. And also, neither that will happen, nor you will make yourself comfortable or possibly make her uncomfortable. The friendship will not really take roots because your motives is different. Intentions for being there in that relationship or in that friendship is different than hers. And you'll just have disappointments. And at the same time, you will ignore the chances that you will have to build a more suitable friendship or romantic friendship with someone else that could be out there by having occupied your mind with this illusory possibility or fantasy. So if you can answer that, then you know if it's going to be healthy or not. In general, if you have loved someone and you've tried, it doesn't work, or you were together, you broke up, just move on. Just move on and don't create that scenario in your consciousness to determine as it to be the whole opportunity for you in the world. Because it's not. It was just one snapshot, one incident, one experience, and there are other people, other circumstances, other experiences they can share and experience, and you will find out there's a lot more fish in the sea and a lot more opportunities and possibilities to find out if you are compatible with someone and beneficially you can have a friendship together, both of you supporting emotionally, have the same kind of feelings or not. That would be a better thing to do. Otherwise, if you really don't have that kind of romantic feelings and you don't have any hopes of anything coming up out of it, then I guess you can. But why would you? If it didn't work, why would you want to keep, digging? You've already dug that hole and was no gold and didn't happen. You didn't find what you're looking for. Move on. There are other parts of the mountain that you may find without even digging so deep. Find something so close to what you're looking for and would reciprocate the same emotions as you may be having. Now, Eugene says, what's up from beautiful Charleston, SC, South Carolina. Is that what it is? Eugene, not much. All cool and dandy here. Glad for you to be here. Now, Janet says, Mehran, that's me. My ex, just 5 weeks after we split from a 6-year relationship, got into a relationship with someone else. Good for him. I know things weren't working out between us and I was unhappy, but I am so jealous. I lost it. But I'm so jealous of the relationship, even though I know him well. It is lust, at least for now, not love. What happens when we are jealous? It hurts so much. What can I do to cope? You're jealous. Of course, if we didn't have any desire for anything, we would not be jealous because we wouldn't care. If we would have been aware of the number and amounts and tremendous and millions of opportunities out there to go and get it, we wouldn't be jealous. It's like saying you're on a boat with a bunch of other boats in the sea and you're all fishing. And you were trying to catch that fish that looked, pretty good to you, and other boats were trying too. You caught the fish and somehow it unhooked itself and went and somebody else caught it. Now you say, I'm jealous. There's so many other fish in the sea. Why are you so focused on that fish? Why? Because you had an opportunity, you had a touch, you had interaction with it, you had an experience with it, and you're holding on to that experience as if that fish was the only fish in the sea. If you focus that what you're focusing on, what you're jealous about, what you desire, the reason for you to want it is because you're focused on it and not recognizing what else is out there. You're not even giving yourself a chance to compare that fish with the other fish available in the sea. All you're doing, you made it look like as if you have a goggle, virtual reality goggle in front of your eyes, and that's the only fish you see in the ocean. Therefore, that makes that fish to be something of an anomaly, something of speciality, because you're not aware of any other fish being available. You're convinced that this is the only one that is available because you have a goggle. You can't see anything outside of that field of vision. You're focused on that fish. You're considering that fish. You're convinced that fish to be the only thing, only one that would have done what you wanted to do. And therefore, you now feel that your chance is gone because now you feel you don't have that. And that was the only fish. So you feel jealous. Focus on the possibilities that is in this world. Focus on the chances that many other entities out there want to meet you, and you can meet them and have rapport. But you're holding on to your memory because you're lazy. You don't want to go and allow others to introduce themselves to you, to do the work of introducing yourself to them, to make that interaction again. You know, we're all lazy after a breakup. We say, I got to introduce myself to that person. I got to know what they're all about. I just want them to, I don't want, they got to know what I'm all about. You don't want to do any of that. That helps for the jealousy because laziness, the work that is involved, the fact that you think it's the only one, you're not aware of all the other chances. These are elements that makes you feel you should be striving for that, focusing for that. Then it turns into jealousy. But why don't you focus on the fact that the fish that you let go or it went after you caught it, it wasn't really going to do what you wanted to. Because if it did, if it was suitable, you would have held on. And who cares what they're doing together, if it's lust or love? You got to focus on the fact that the reason you let it go or didn't work out should be at the first and foremost in your mind. The reasons that it didn't work out, the reasons that you let it go, the reasons that you guys decided not to be together. Instead, you're focusing on the moments that it was good during their relationship, and you're taking that few moments or whatever while it lasted, that it was good and you guys had no problem, as if the whole thing was good. If the whole thing was good, it would have stayed. Obviously, you guys change, go through changes, the sequences and developments in life, and the relationship also changed from what it was, which was maybe suitable and palatable, to, as you all grew and things changed, to something that wasn't working anymore. Well, if it's not working anymore, why you keep looking at what doesn't work as and with the memory of the past, which did work? So you bring this did work, which is dead, doesn't exist anymore, is no longer reality. It was okay at one time, but you bring this feeling and this thinking to now of the situation, which is not working, is not palatable, is not okay, and you can't see the reality of what it is because you constantly are looking at it with the perception of the past, with how it was, not how it is. That's why you become jealous and you think you've lost something. You focus on what it is, you will see it's not working. So it's not working, what do you want it for? If you don't want it, you won't be jealous. You're jealous because you want it. You want it because you're looking at it with the eye that passed, with the eye of the past, with the memories that it was working at the time. Look at it for what it is. You will see this is not suitable for you. Neither physically, emotionally, nothing. And you will find why you don't want it. You will see why you don't want it. And when you don't want it, you won't miss it. You won't be jealous if somebody else will have it. It may also have to do with the fact that you find yourself not in a good financial position, or a job position, or something that brings you comfort, and security. And the relationship that you had with that man was probably partly bring you certain kind of a financial, economic security, which would lead for you to think that was worth the fact that emotionally it wasn't working between you two, but the fringe benefits, what it was bringing in, the security that was bringing in, was worth it. And that is what you're focusing on, not the person and relationship. That's why you think it still was good, and now you still want it, and therefore you are jealous. Now, I hope this is something that you can consider, which means focus on getting a job if you don't have it. Focus on bringing your economic situation to an acceptable and secure level for yourself. That should be the only focus you have. Yeah? When you focus on the severity, the importance of the survival, you will not give a damn about this guy or this girl or that girl. You have to make ends meet. And once you're comfortable in that, then you will not have the vulnerability of, of thinking that this was a good one, not because that it was, but because you needed something from that relationship. If you take that need away from that broken relationship, then you will not want it for that reason. Therefore, you will not care if that person is with someone else or not, because you have no need for what it was being offered through that relationship, and you will focus if that person is suitable for you or not what was coming or being provided through that relationship with that person. Hope that is something for you to think about. Okay, Yahima says, why do we take out our anger, lion, the wrong people? Now, Yahima, help me out here. Why do we take out our anger, anger lion, the wrong people? Okay, I need a little bit of help here. I can assume what it means, but not quite. So why do we throw our anger on people that has nothing to do with why we're angry for? Is that what you're saying? Okay, just until you come up with a little bit more clarification, Yahima, I'll go to the next one. Scottsdale, Arizona, Faye. Good to see you, Faye. Surajit. Surajit says, how to remove ego. You know, let me tell you a short story before I answer this question. Nasir ad-Din was a Turkish philosopher from thousands of years ago. He was a very bright man, wise man, and he would travel all around different villages, different cities with his camel and the camel driver. And they would go to different cities and he would give a lecture about, matters of life, and go on to the next city again with his camel and his camel driver. They would get to the next city and he would get the same speech, and as wonderfully people enjoy it, then they would go to the next city, and it takes days to get to the next city. And so they continued doing this for maybe 10, 11 different cities, and he gave the same speech. When they were about to reach the 11th city or the 12th city, outside of the city, their little village, they had camped with their camel, a little fire, and about to sleep. The camel driver said, what you do, Mullah, what you do, Nasir ad-Din, the great philosopher, is no big deal. I can give the same speech as you can. Of course, he's been hearing the same speech for the past 10 events, and so he knows it by heart now. So he can just simply say the speech and no problem. So he says, Nasir ad-Din, it's no big deal. I can give the same speech as good as you can. Nasir ad-Din says, okay, that's not a problem. Next city, they don't know me. So you come down, I will come down from the camel, you go up, sit on the camel, I'll be the camel driver, and you become Nasir ad-Din. He says, sure enough, no big deal. So now Nasir ad-Din is the camel driver, pulling the camel, And the camel driver is now sitting on the camel as Nasruddin. They enter the city. So people, welcome them, and they go, and he goes on top of the stage, and Nasruddin is taking care of the camel right beside the stage, and the camel driver, now posing as Nasruddin, gives a speech as good as Nasruddin himself, because he's been listening to it for the past 10, 11 nights, until he came to the question and answer period. So somebody asked the question, and of course the camel driver doesn't have the wisdom. He could just say it like parrot. And he looked around and he said he doesn't know the answer. He says, well, this question is so simple, so easy, that even my camel driver can answer it. So come here and answer it. So now, this question of yours is so easy, I'm looking for my camel driver, if I can find him here, because this is not an easy question. However, having done this discussion, 10 other cities, I may be able to help. Hang up. First, let's understand what ego is. Is ego something in the genes? Is ego something that is part of our material process in the brain? Is it already programmed in our genes? Well, I believe that ego never existed. There's no truth to ego. Ego is a program. Through conditioning, through the environment that we are raised, through our childhood, we are taught, not purposely, but through the interactions that we receive from our parents and teachers and so on and so forth, the ego is created. Everybody that compared us. Look at so-and-so's son. He got an A in math. The teacher says, oh, good boy, or good girl. Very good, but so-and-so did a very good job. Everybody see, so-and-so has done a very good job. Very good. Look, he's got a, B, or he can run so fast. Or can anybody run as fast as he does? Can anybody be as good at, respectful or disciplined kid as he can be? We've always been compared with auntie's son or uncle's son, and the mother said, look at so-and-so, how good she is, how good he is, and why don't you learn to be like him? Why don't you? All these competitions created some kind of a feeling in us that we want to be more. We're not enough. Whatever we are, there's somebody better. And the whole purpose of my existence, to be counted and considered, is if I can be better than somebody. Not that I can be better than what I was yesterday, I got to be better than somebody else. So always the measuring unit came from outside of me. So it was always something for me to reach. I wasn't enough. I had to go for something more. And this began to be like a rabbit doll stuck to the end of the stick and connected to the dog's body in front of him, and the dog is running and never going to reach that rabbit that is hanging in, because in front of him it keeps going, and we're in pursuit of something that we are programmed, conditioned to think that we got to get to it in order to feel we're more. That was a beginning of ego programming, but that created that feeling for me that I got to have this, I got to be better or bigger, I got to have this recognition, I got to have, we have many people around the world that they happen to become part of some important positions, and the ego is interfering with their correct way of thinking about the world and how things should be. So these are all results of conditionings through childhood, that we are not enough. By not being enough, we want to be enough so we can get the recognition, affirmation of the others. And before you know it, ego has been created as a program. Otherwise, when we were born, there was no ego. We only had the instincts of survival and nothing else. The way we learned how to think came from the experiences that became knowledge, an action became experiences, and the knowledge was recorded in the memory. From the memory, a new thought is born. From that thought, action, experience, knowledge became added to the memory again. And that formed eventually our consciousness. And from the field of the known, the consciousness, what's in the memory, thought is born. And all these conditionings to be in our experiences and knowledge and the way they interacted with us and so on, becoming part of our consciousness. Part of it was this whole business of you got to be better, the other one is better than you, creating that desire to be more than what we are, as if we are not enough. The ego was born. And that ego is a conditioning. So all you have to do is to consider where ego comes from, understand that it is not part of you to be, it is something imposed upon you by bullying. If you really focus on it, not that they intended to bully us, but it's like they imposed this behavior or this thinking on us by having us, striving us to become better than the other kids, the other family's kids, so they would feel elated or bigger by having a child who's better than somebody else's child. So it all comes from their mentality through generations of this behavior. And then it ended up extending it to us, making us feel like we're responsible to be better, so they would be happier and more pleased with us. So that became part of our conditioning eventually, and we didn't care about that. We were doing it to please the parents or the teacher or whatever. We just wanted it now as part of us. Recognize this is not part of your natural state of being. It's just the conditioning and program that we have received. And for that reason, you can simply try and begin to not listen to what it is that is ego-driven. And hopefully that will be a beginning to get rid of that, which affects all of us. I hope that answers a bit of, or starts a thinking process in you about that. Ruby says, I'm quite happy with my second husband. I decided not to make same mistake twice. Okay, there is no more here. Is that a question or is it a statement? Either way, okay. So we go on, as I'm not sure what I should be doing here. Paramita says, love you too, sir, from India. I always share. Good, thank you. Khaled says, Khaled from Morocco. Oh, hello, Morocco. Glenna says, do you talk of grief from losing an adult child? Very, very hard. What can one say? That's a tragedy, a disaster. There's nothing for me to say. Neither I have the power to somehow say things. I have a chapter in one of my books about death of a family member. But I know how difficult that is. I lost my father 6 years ago, 2011. And it is a very difficult thing as part of the truth of life, unfortunately. I don't know how helpful it may be, but there are ways that one can talk about when he hasn't lost his own child. But no matter what one says, it's not going to be of much of a help until you realize in your own heart that we are, I know it's not going to be that helpful because we all want our child back, regardless what other shape they may still be living in this universe. We want it back. I understand that. There's nothing I can say about it. And, that's given. I just want to talk about something other than this tremendously big loss. Just about some philosophy. You may find it somewhat, possibly, useful, but it's not really meant to ease your pain because there's nothing that I can say that could replace what you're going through. A friend of mine asked me a while back about having lost his mother and that he couldn't do much, he couldn't be sociable anymore, and so on. So I wrote an article for him, and of course then I discussed this in more detail in one of my books about loss of a family member. And perhaps if we just focus on who we are in this world, maybe would be just a distraction from that, what we seek. But it's not going to be a remedy. We tend to see everything physically. And we see the trees, we see the ocean, we can touch. And we are accustomed to think that we are what we are, what is visible. And we are what we can be touched. But we have to realize that our entity is made out of spirit and a physical being. There's a part that is visible to each one of us from each other, and there's a part of us that is not visible, but it is most important part of our being, but it's not visible. Is where the power, where the whole what we are, the most of what we are is in there, but it's not visible. It's kind of like the portion of the iceberg that you see on the surface of the ocean. You see an iceberg, piece of iceberg sticking out, and you think that's what the iceberg is. But hundreds of times bigger than what's visible, perhaps hundreds of times bigger than what's visible, is underneath the ocean, which is the main part of the iceberg. But it's not visible. So it is not correct to think that's what we see, what's visible is the whole of it. So what's visible from us and what we are in contact with is not really the whole entity of ours. The bigger part is our spirit, is our mind, is our connection with the energy of the universe, the energy of the source, where we are, where we have come from, where the energy comes for us and passes through us, facilitates our livelihood. And every day we sleep, that energy comes back to us, and we get up in the morning and we're vigorous. And through the day we use that energy, and again we are feeling not so vigorous, and we sleep and we recharge again, like a battery of a toy. But that energy, that spirit, that energy that flows through us from the universe is really the biggest part of us, and that cannot die. Where is it gonna go? When I die, my physical part of being, the visible part of the iceberg, will die, will not accept the charge, the energy that I always receive when I sleep at night and get up vigorous. Like the battery of the toy. You keep charging it and put it in the toy, and the toy works, and eventually at one time the battery doesn't take charge anymore. But the charge is still in the universe, is still in the nature. It just cannot take the charge, and the charge that he had is already for us too. When I die, my physical appearance will vanish. But what I learned, what I accumulated through experience and wisdom, through this experience of life, and the energy that was coming to me, through me, and the energy that I had in me, will all go where? Back to the collective consciousness of the universe. As I am a small puzzle of the whole picture, a whole consciousness of the universe, as every one of us will help through our experiences in life and wisdom to add to the wisdom of the universe. So when we die, all that wisdom, all that experiences, all that knowledge, all that energy goes back to where it comes from. Where else can it go? Outside of the universe? Where's outside the universe? So it's always going to be in the universe. The part of me that gave me life. Not the part of me that took something to make it work. Not the toy, the energy. The toy and the energy must be together in order for us to experience it in a physical world as we do. So I, being the toy, may die, but the energy that makes this toy work, as it is right now talking, will go back to the collective part of the universal energy. So I really never die. I will hang around. Part of the universe have helped my life, my experience in life, have helped the universe to become a little bit wiser, to know a little bit more through my experience in life and your experience in life and everybody else's experience in life. So I believe my father hasn't died because I live through him. My son lives through him. Universe has gained more knowledge through his knowledge and experiences in life. The way I knew him as physical being doesn't exist anymore, but the way he really was, what made that physical being function, never died. It is still part of the universe. Where can it go? It is part of the whole, and it can't go anywhere else. So, in that way, perhaps we can still feel the existence of the experience and the love and the contribution of that life that is still part of the bigger life, only not the way we can see it, but still affecting and part of the whole as it was before, in a physical world as well, now not in physical world, but in the real world, the spiritual world, the energy world, what really makes everything happen and be alive and function. Now, Danielle says, what is this? Not much, really. We're just having tea, all of us. Belfast, Ireland. Brian. Nathalie from Quebec. Bonjour. Comment ça va aujourd'hui? Thank you for being here. Emily is from Singapore. So, Denise... Je ne comprends pas. Tu me je vous. Okay, Denise, I'm sorry that you don't understand, but my French is not that good to have a conversation in French. Okay, Brian says, I'm alone, sir, or more importantly, all one. Good. All one is good. One with the universe. That's good. Alone. All one. Long Beach, California. Hi there. We're looking for question, guys. Félicitations, monsieur. Merci beaucoup. Thank you to you too, dear. How to react to people who always looking for you to fail? That is a very, very good question, yet very short answer. Don't pay attention to them. Look, when you're in a competition, pretty much all the athletes, if they're not of spiritual level, they're hoping for you not to do as good as they do. So what do? You keep thinking about what they're thinking about you should or should not be doing, or you'd be fully focused on what you're doing to do your best because that's what you want. Not because you want to diss them, that I did good because you wanted me not to. No. Focus on your life. Don't matter who's better than you or who does better than you or doesn't. Focus on how better you can be in what you're doing. That's all. Simply don't pay attention to the negative forces. Ignore them. When you There's so many things in your field of vision. If you look at here, if you want to go that way, but you keep looking here and looking here, you'll never be focused on your way. You will lose your way. You will get lost because you're not focused on where you're going. You may, if you're going on a line, you fall off the line. If you're going on a ledge, you fall off the ledge. So stop looking around to focus on your way and finish it at the time that you have set for it to be completed, get your destination. Same thing here. If they are wishing you something that you would fail, they're looking at you fail, don't look at them. Focus on your own road. Ignore them. It'll all be fine. Nick says, big thank you for sharing your posts. They are an absolute chance to see and remind us of the beauty that's out in the world. Ciao from Nick from UK. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Guide said, what do I think of the idea of being... Okay, we talked about that. Okay, let's see. So, hello from New Zealand. That made me think a bit differently. Thank you, sir. Chris says, I don't know what made you think differently because I've talked a lot about different things. But thank you. Selma, hi from Germany. Guten Tag, guten Abend. Welcome. From New Zealand, wonderful place. Okay, guys, we're looking for questions, and let's see what time is it. Is someone in West Coast time zone, like Los Angeles, Vancouver? If you are, let me know what time it is, so I know if I've talked enough or not. Guy Darush says, that was so comforting. Thank you, sir. My pleasure. I hope that whatever it was, which I don't know what it was because I've been talking different subjects. I just saw your note. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Qaith Dadush says, what makes anyone get divorced? Love is a losing game. Lust is a losing game, maybe, because it has the duration and you get used to it and it doesn't seem so fantastic to you anymore. Then there are other things that you pay attention to and you want to go because of desire and not being able to, really not having applied the real love. Real love is different than lust. When you see a girl and you say, oh, I love her, you really don't love her. You don't know anything about her. How could you love her? You lust for her. You want intimacy. And you're programmed for procreation, to look for a mate. That's normal. But love is a different frequency. It's a whole different ballgame. Real compassion, real love to help develop, to be there, to do things, to have that understanding of that energy, that life form that is completing the whole life form in the time period that we live in the part of the universe that we live in. That is different. So love is not a losing game, because love is what makes the world go around. Hate surely doesn't. Look, how many thousands of years is it that different countries and tribes and groups are trying to kill each other for resources around the world, for having this, or you do what I wanted you to do, so we're going to send our military there, take over your land, or take over your resources, and take over this because we want. Those are hate and violence. Surely they haven't made this world, this life, a pleasant place, as pleasant as it could be. So definitely that is a losing game. But love is the only reason that we're enduring the all bullshit that is going around the world. So love is a real power, real backbone, real roots of this life for every one of us, real hopes that we are functioning on. If there was no love, nobody would stand any moment of this hate and wars and deceptions and all the garbage, greed that is going on. Is the love for something, some parts of life, some parts of things, some good things, and focusing on finding more of that love that you want to give out yourself. There's so much love in this world. All you have to do, close your eyes on the propaganda and the big scenes and the big attention they want us to pay to these wars and negativities and anger and hate and differences and create division between people. Close your eyes on that. Focus on the love that you can extend, and you will find the love that others are extending. And perhaps that would be making a better life, a better world for us. No, not coffee. It's hot chocolate mix with hot water and almond milk. Michael says, how to get energy for work. It is actually, as you know, the simple things is through a healthy regimen in life. You're eating, drinking good water, eating good simple food, and exercising and meditating. And I have this section of meditation that helps to bring more of that energy that we receive through sleeping time. When we sleep, we receive the energy of the universe automatically. Our brain enters into a certain frequency that accepts the frequency of that delivers energy to us. That's why when you go up in the morning, we're very vigorous and energetic. And through the day, when we do our things, even if we don't do anything and sit on the couch all day long, we will deplete that energy that we got up with. And at the end of the day, we feel depleted and tired, and we need to replenish. So when we sleep, again, more energy comes, like a battery of a toy that gets charged up. Now, through meditation during the day, you can add some of this energy that comes through sleeping time automatically. Every human being does that automatically, but you can learn how to do it through waking hours and increase your energy. And even if sometimes you haven't slept enough, by 15 minutes or 20 minutes of good meditation, having had that for a while and know exactly how to get in there, you will bring more of that energy. And when you learn how to continuously, while on your waking hours, you do your work and you do your sports or you do whatever it is that you do, you constantly generate this energy that you get through sleeping or you get through meditation, but you do it now through while you're doing your daily work and daily affairs, and you constantly are like the generator of a car. As you're working, it also brings more electricity to the car. So as you're working, you also bring more energy to you. So while you're running, more energy coming, because your thought process has learned how to connect with the universal energy, and to be able to do that, not just when you're sleeping, not just when you're sitting stationary and meditating, but also when you're doing your sports, playing tennis or running or talking or doing what you're working. Your whole synchronization with the universe as one is connected, so you're constantly getting energy as you're spending it. That's the place you want to be, and that's where the energy is. There is a chapter in my book, Me, My Psyche, and I, talks about mind power and meditation and so on and so forth, which has lots of information on this for you. If you guys go on my site, www.mindthatseekstruth.com, you'll have a chance to see the books I've written and see the table of contents of the books, read a sample chapter of each book, or you can see the VIP video section, which you can pay a nominal fee and have another 120 videos that is not available on YouTube but is through YouTube, and you can have access to that. Or you can have a one-on-one consultation on Skype with me to book it, and we will have a chat on your issues. And at the same time, you will have a chance to see one of the seminars I've done in a local university about the end of fear, the role of thoughts and fear, how we feel and how we think and so on. It's very interesting 1-hour discussion that you can purchase that, or look at the 10 minutes short video sample of it is there for you to see what it's all about. So I want to ask you guys to please go on my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth. The link is up there. And like, so you'll know where any events or any kind of a talk that we'll have on these. And so I'll have a live streaming talk on YouTube. So I hope that you'll all have already visited my Facebook page, so you'll know, you'll be able to know when the announcement comes about the live streaming on YouTube, so we can have more of this chats going. Now, if someone tells me what time it is, I will know if I've talked enough or not, unless, if you don't, and I'm going to just check it out here, and to see what time it is, which it is time for me to say goodbye in a few minutes. I think we have no more questions, and we've discussed enough, and I want to thank you all for being here. I appreciate you paying attention to stuff that we share together, and again, looking forward for next week. Hope you have a wonderful week. Love you all, and thanks for being here. Be good to yourself and to the others, and talk to you soon, and take good care of yourself and the others. I think I said that, didn't I? So do that. Talk to you later. And see you next week. Bye-bye.